because I spoke with Igor. He called me and asked me to be just close friends. He said that he's not trans attracted.
Why does it feel like Nikki and Igor were the last people in the world to realise this? Like, we've all known it since day one, haven't we? Igor just isn't attracted to Nikki. He hasn't been since learning that she's transgender. So surely that now means that their relationship is done and dusted, right?
I just feel like I wasted 2 years of my life with this guy and I did everything for him.
No, you didn't waste it, baby.
No,
it's a
it's
life
never wasted.
lesson.
It's a lesson.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a lesson, but more so a lesson in honesty for both of them. But before we get to that, let's just start at the beginning. So the last time we saw Nikki, Igor was breaking up with her. He was sending her a hilariously formal breakup message while she was at the studio. But the question on all our lips is, did he stick to his guns? Well, by the looks of things, as she rocks up to the tell-all, Nikki is still single.
My head is spinning because I brought Justin into my world with a real, true love story. So I thought.
The thing is, Nikki, your entire love story with Igor has been a complete fantasy. It's a story you're telling yourself, but that doesn't make it real. Heck, you've even changed the man's name to fit your narrative, fit your storyline. But the harsh truth is that Igor has a problem with you being trans. Sorry, but it's true. For as much as Nikki wishes that Igor was the kind of man that loves her for her soul, in reality, physical attraction is a very big issue for him, and he's just not attracted to her.
This is the freaking Barbie!
What a beautiful dress!
Nikki and I being online friends for so long, and finally we could meet each other in person.
Why is this absolutely no surprise to anyone? I mean, of course, two of the most toxic people this season turn out to be best buddies. I wouldn't expect any less. Like, when you think about it, these two actually have a lot in common. They both love plastic surgery, they both have issues regulating their emotions, they both have trust issues, and both are into a very unique, very strange type of guy.
Did you burn sage back there?
I did.
Good. I have a very, very negative energy and I'm trying to cleanse myself because I have a lot to say.
Now, Ashley Sage seems to be appreciated by all the cast, but none more so than Nikki. As suspected, Nikki seems to be sitting on some information that she's desperate to share with everyone. She reveals that their relationship may not be as over as we thought.
The last time I saw Justin was 2 months ago. I went back to Moldova for his birthday and everything was great. I thought we made up.
Igor. Why, mate? What are you doing? You just knew that he'd cave, didn't you? The thing is, he's seriously giving mixed signals at this point. Like, does he want to be with her? Doesn't he? Like, what's going on? Is Nikki just steamrolling him into taking her back? Or does he want to stay friends with her? I mean, there's so many questions. But what Nikki says next should make Igor's position crystal clear. There's no way that she can continue lying to herself after this.
But he called me and asked me to be just close friends. He said that he's not trans attracted.
He's not trans attracted.
Finally! Look, don't get me wrong, there's no doubt that this must have been very hard for Nikki to hear after giving Igor so much of her life. But this is the truth. We've all known it about Igor since day one. We've all been waiting for him to finally just be honest with himself about it. The longer that he was putting it off, the harder it was becoming for him. The more that it was hurting Nikki. And the rest of the cast all seem to agree.
No.
I think it's a little too late for him to say that.
Way too late.
He wanted basically to break up over a stupid argument and then make up again to break up with me again.
Look, it's never too late to be honest with yourself, but it sure would have saved everyone a lot of heartache if Igor had just realised this about himself sooner. He and Nikki originally broke up the first time after he shockingly discovered in the middle of an argument, that Nikki's trans. And given that they remained separated for many years, it would have been for the best if they'd just stayed that way. It would have been for the best if Igor hadn't tried to convince himself he'd now come to terms with it and could accept her as trans. But the thing is, while Igor is being more honest with Nikki, it seems he's not being more honest with us.
We're still talking, trying to fixing something, but I think we need more time to be with ourselves.
If he knows that he's not attracted to trans women, then tell me, why on earth is he sitting there pretending to the camera that he and Nikki can possibly fix anything? Like, this is where the constant mixed signals are coming in. This is precisely why Nikki's confused, because you've got to imagine this must also be what Igor's telling her in private too. He's leading her on, he's giving her false hope that maybe he might be able to change. And we get a small insight into how much of a performer Igor is when he even begins posing and testing out which way to look in order to make his performance seem more polished for when the tell-all begins.
Yes?
Yeah.
You need to watch on the screen to see me.
How is it seeing each other today?
I just want to see, babe, you look wonderful.
Thank you.
I mean, if that's not the literal definition of playing up to the cameras, putting on a performance, then I don't know what is. Everyone else who's not at the studio looks at the camera when they're talking, but not Igor. Oh no, he needs to put on this act to make it seem like he's somehow looking at her from thousands of miles away. And this performance is very symbolic of their entire relationship. It's precisely that. It's a performance. It's an act. But the thing is, his act isn't fooling anyone anymore.
Everybody thinks like he was the nicest guy. And
Who's everybody? Who's everybody?
And so like charismatic that nobody sees
I
his
see him.
faults. And
Dude's got a lot of faults.
Yeah, so while Nikki certainly has her faults, and there's no doubt about that, Igor's been found out too. He's by no means a victim in this relationship. He's hanging around for a reason. The guy literally cheated on Nikki after she applied for a K1 visa. So why is he still keeping up this pretense? Now, as for where Nikki and Igor stand today, we didn't really get to dive into too much of that when they went on stage. That's hopefully to come in the next part of the tell-all. But there was one very interesting interaction between Igor and Jasmine. You see, Sean asks everyone. She asks, if you had to have a kid with someone other than your current partner, someone past or present from 90 Day Fiance, who would that be?
What a weird
They're trying to get us all
question.
That's a dangerous question.
Yes, it's a dangerous...
Everyone comes up with very diplomatic answers. Rob says he'd have a kid with Gino. Sam says all of the ladies on the stage are beautiful. And then we come to Jasmine and Nikki, the two new BFFs. And given that we know both of their personalities, it's no surprise that Jasmine gives a very extra answer.
If I was Nikki's partner, like, I will her. I have the balls to on you, baby.
I have the balls, she says, which is clearly a dig at Igor, isn't it? Especially when Jasmine goes on to say that sex was always a problem in Nikki and Igor's relationship. I would do it better than Igor did. She's basically saying, I'm more of a man, I'm more honest, I'm more attracted to Nikki than Igor is. But the weird thing is, Igor completely misses this. In fact, rather than see this as Jasmine having a pop at him, which she is, he seems much more preoccupied at the mental image of Jasmine and Nikki together. Maybe he thinks his threesome fantasies might be taking shape.
Oh la la.
Ooh la la.
So when the question gets turned over to Igor, who would he choose to have a kid with? His answer is Jasmine. It feels a bit like an odd response. It feels like he hasn't been able to read the room properly. Jasmine doesn't like him. She's literally just insulted him. Backstage, although Igor was probably oblivious to this, but backstage Backstage, Jasmine was telling Nikki that Igor was no good for her. So although Igor might be getting excited at the prospect of his threesome finally coming true, unfortunately for him, Jasmine makes it very clear she's very, very uncomfortable with Igor.
I choose the Jasmine.
Jasmine seems taken aback by that.
I pass.
Now
pass?
you can
Oh.
live with that.
I pass.
Okay.
Isn't it funny that Igor's far more excited to have sex with crazy Jasmine, the crazy lady who doesn't even like him, than he ever has been with having sex with Nikki? But then again, that should come as absolutely no surprise. I mean, all season long, he's barely even managed to kiss Nikki. So, pretense or not, acting up for the cameras or not, surely by now, everyone, including Nikki herself, can see that this relationship won't work. Surely.